It was a dark and stormy night, and Queen Isabella of Aragon was locked in a fierce battle with the neighboring kingdom of Castile. The two sides had been at war for years, and the conflict showed no signs of abating. As Isabella sat in her tent, strategizing with her advisors, she suddenly heard a commotion outside. A messenger burst in, panting and out of breath. "Your Majesty, the enemy has breached the gates," he exclaimed. "They're coming for you." Isabella's heart raced as she grabbed her sword and prepared to defend herself. But as she and her guards rushed outside, they were met with a sight that chilled them to the bone. The enemy soldiers were not human. They were undead, their bodies twisted and contorted, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Isabella knew immediately that they were dealing with something far more sinister than a simple battle between two kingdoms. As the undead horde advanced, Isabella and her guards fought bravely, but they were vastly outnumbered. Just as all seemed lost, a bolt of lightning struck the ground, and a figure emerged from the smoke and flames. It was a powerful sorceress, wielding ancient magic and wielding a staff imbued with unimaginable power. She fought off the undead with ease, banishing them back to the underworld from whence they came. Isabella was eternally grateful to the sorceress, and from that day on, she made sure to keep her close at all times, knowing that they would need her powerful magic to defeat any future threats that may arise. But even as they triumphed over their enemies, Isabella couldn't shake the feeling that something darker and more dangerous was lurking on the horizon. She knew that she had to be vigilant and always be ready for the next supernatural threat that may come their way. The sorceress, whose name was Luna, became a trusted ally and advisor to Queen Isabella. Together, they worked to strengthen the kingdom's defenses against any future supernatural threats. But as the years passed, Isabella began to notice strange occurrences happening within the castle walls. Strange noises and apparitions were reported by the servants, and some even claimed to have seen ghostly figures roaming the halls at night. Isabella brushed these reports off as mere superstitions, but Luna took them seriously. She spent hours in the castle library, poring over ancient texts and searching for any clues that might help them understand what was happening. Finally, Luna made a shocking discovery. The castle was built on top of an ancient burial ground, and the ghosts that were haunting them were the spirits of the long-dead kings and queens who had been buried there. Isabella was horrified by this revelation, and immediately ordered that the castle be abandoned and a new one be built in a different location. But it was too late. The ghosts had grown too powerful, and they were determined to reclaim their kingdom by any means necessary. As the ghosts began to manifest more frequently and with increasing violence, Isabella knew that they had to act fast. She and Luna worked together to devise a plan to banish the ghosts back to the afterlife once and for all. It was a risky and dangerous mission, but they were willing to do whatever it took to protect their kingdom and its people. In the end, they were successful, but the experience left them both shaken and traumatized. Isabella and Luna vowed to never let such a thing happen again, and they worked together to ensure that their kingdom was protected against any future supernatural threats. Though they knew that the dangers of the world were always present, they were ready to face them head-on, united and determined to protect what they had fought so hard to build. As the years passed, Isabella and Luna continued to work together to safeguard their kingdom. They built up their defenses and trained their soldiers to be ready for any threat that might come their way. But despite their best efforts, they could not shake the feeling that they were being watched. They often had the sense that someone, or something, was lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. One night, as Isabella was reviewing battle plans with Luna in her chambers, they both heard a strange noise coming from the corridor outside. It sounded like a soft, shuffling footsteps, but when they opened the door to investigate, they saw no one there. The next day, strange symbols started appearing all over the castle. They were etched into the walls, carved into the furniture, and even etched into the food in the kitchen. Luna recognized them as ancient spells of protection, and she knew immediately that they were being targeted by powerful dark forces. Isabella was terrified, but she refused to let her kingdom fall. She gathered her bravest knights and together, they set out to find the source of the darkness that was plaguing their land. They journeyed deep into the heart of the forest, following a trail of destruction that led them to a hidden cave. Inside, they found a group of powerful witches, who were using dark magic to summon a demon from the depths of the underworld. Isabella and her knights fought bravely against the witches, but they were outnumbered and outmatched. Just when all seemed lost, Luna appeared, wielding her staff and banishing the demon back to the underworld with a burst of light. The witches were defeated, and the kingdom was safe once again. Isabella and Luna emerged from the cave victorious, but they knew that they could never let their guard down. As long as there were those who sought to use the power of darkness for their own gain, they would always be at risk. But despite the dangers, Isabella and Luna remained united, ready to defend their kingdom and its people against any threat that may come their way.